Would you choose an electric Cadillac over a Rolls-Royce? Because that's exactly who Cadillac is targeting with its all-new flagship, Celestiq. This isn't your grandfather's Fleetwood. It's a hand-built, custom-commissioned luxury electric sedan that starts at an eye-watering $423,000 before a single personalized option is added. It produces 655 horsepower, 646 pound-feet of torque, stretches an incredible 217 inches, which is actually longer than a standard Cadillac Escalade, and every single one is individually commissioned for its owner. But here's the crazy part. I don't think the most impressive engineering in today's video is actually on the real car, because somehow Hot Wheels managed to capture the spirit of this hand-built American flagship in a casting that costs about $1. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the brand new 2026 Hot Wheels Cadillac Celestiq. We'll look at the incredible engineering behind the real car, why GM believes this is the future of American luxury, and then uncover one hidden engineering feature on this Hot Wheels that almost nobody notices. But once you see it, you'll never look at Hot Wheels interiors the same way again. So let's get into it. The Celestiq isn't simply Cadillac's newest electric vehicle, it's Cadillac's statement to the entire world. For much of the 20th century, Cadillac was considered the pinnacle of American luxury. Presidents rode in Cadillacs, Hollywood stars drove Cadillacs. The company proudly called itself the standard of the world, and for decades it was true. But over the years, European manufacturers gradually took over the ultra luxury segment. Instead of competing directly with Mercedes Benz or BMW, Cadillac decided to skip an entire class and challenge Rolls-Royce and Bentley head on. That's an incredibly ambitious gamble, in my opinion. And honestly, I love that they took it. The numbers behind the car are fascinating. Power comes from a dual motor all wheel drive system producing 655 horsepower, 646 pound feet of torque, launching this massive luxury sedan from 0 to 60 in roughly 3.7 seconds. Energy comes from a massive 111 kilowatt hour Ultium battery, delivering an EPA estimated 303 miles of range. Despite weighing well over 3 tons, Cadillac equipped the Celestiq with a rear wing, rear wheel steering, adaptive air suspension, magnetic ride control, active roll control, and an aerodynamic body with a drag coefficient of approximately 0.28, helping a vehicle this large move through the air remarkably efficiently. Step inside, and the technology becomes even more impressive. A gorgeous 55-inch pillar to pillar LED display stretches across the dashboard, while every passenger gets their own digital interface. Cadillac also incorporated over 100 3D printed components, making the Celestiq one of the most extensively 3D printed production vehicles ever built. Perhaps the most impressive part isn't even the technology, it's how the car is built. General Motors invested $81 million renovating a dedicated production facility inside the historic GM Global Technical Center in Warren, Michigan. Unlike most modern cars rolling down a traditional assembly line, the Celestiq is hand-built by a skilled craftsman. Cadillac experts expect to build fewer than 2 cars per day, making it one of the rarest production Cadillacs ever made. Each customer works directly with Cadillac's personal commissioning concierge, selecting colors, materials, finishes, and trim to create a truly one-of-one automobile. No two Celestiqs are expected to be exactly alike. So, how do you shrink all of that exclusively into a $1 Hot Wheels? Let's find out. The first thing that strikes me is the presence. The casting immediately feels substantial. Just like the real car, it's long, elegant, and unmistakably luxurious. Mattel resisted the temptation to exaggerate the styling and instead stayed remarkably to Cadillac's flowing proportions. Now, at first glance, this just looks like another really nice mainline, but trust me, there's one hidden engineering detail coming up that completely changed how I look at this casting. Let's start with the finish. The first edition is painted in a beautiful metal flake Santorini blue. Under good lighting, the metallic flakes shimmer just enough to resemble a premium automotive paint rather than simply looking sparkly. It perfectly matches the upscale personality of the real Celestiq. Regarding the size of the casting, it's also quite large. For instance, consider the Cadillac CT-SV right over here. You'll notice how much longer this casting is compared to the other Cadillac. Let me just put right there. I believe the size truly embodies the essence of a luxury statement, reflecting the actual length of the real car, which exceeds 18 feet. Moving to the front, Mattel absolutely nailed the graphics. The intricate digital grille pattern is surprisingly well reproduced. You get Cadillac's signature vertical lighting elements, the crest badge, and clean tempo execution throughout the front fascia. For a basic mainline, that's seriously impressive. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite parts of this casting, the wheels. Hot Wheels shows the chrome RA6 wheels originally designed by Ryu Asada. These feature 6 unique pinwheel or saw blade style spokes that stop just short of reaching the center hub, creating a futuristic turbine-inspired appearance. Not only are they beautiful, but they also echo the aerodynamic wheel designs found on real Celestiq, which were engineered to reduce drag and maximize efficiency. Sometimes the wheel choices makes or breaks a casting. Here, Mattel absolutely nailed it. Looking around the sides, another subtle detail immediately stands out: the mirrors. Normally, Hot Wheels mirrors are fairly chunky because they have to survive years of rough play. Here, they're surprisingly slim and integrated beautifully into the metal body. It's one of those little details that most people will never consciously notice, but your brain registers it and makes the entire casting feel more refined. Now, remember when I said earlier that I thought the coolest engineering wasn't actually on the real Cadillac? This is what I meant. Take a look through the panoramic glass roof. If you collected Hot Wheels for any length of time, you've probably noticed that most cars have a large metal rivet post running right through the middle of the passenger compartment. It's simply part of the manufacturing process, but it also breaks the illusion of a realistic interior. On the Celestiq, Mattel completely redesigned the interior assembly. Instead of placing the rear rivet inside the cabin, they relocated it underneath the rear trunk area. That means when you look through the panoramic roof, you get an unobstructed view of the luxury interior. No giant metal post, no interruption, just a clean, realistic cabin. For a $1 Hot Wheels, that level of engineering thought is remarkable. It required redesigning the tooling and assembly process simply to improve realism. Most people will never notice it, collectors absolutely will, and that's exactly why I love this casting. In a way, it mirrors the philosophy behind the real Celestiq. Both Cadillac and Mattel challenged conventional manufacturing to make something feel just a little bit more special. So now it's time for my favorite part of every review going forwards, the Dr. Diecast engineering score. I rate every casting across 5 categories. So accuracy, I think it's a 9.8 out of 10. The proportions are outstanding. This is instantly recognizable as a Cadillac. Details, 9.5 out of 10. Excellent front graphics, beautiful paint, slim mirrors, and a surprisingly refined execution for a basic mainline. Wheels, 10 out of 10. The chrome RA6 wheels are absolutely perfect for this casting. I honestly can't think of a better wheel choice. Collector appeal, 9.7 out of 10. It's the first release of an exciting new casting. It represents Cadillac's flagship and has enough hidden details to make collectors appreciate it even more over time. And finally, engineering. 10 out of 10. That hidden rivet relocation underneath the rear deck completely changes how this casting feels. It's a tiny design decision that dramatically improves realism, and it's exactly the kind of thoughtful engineering that deserves recognition. This gives the 2026 Cadillac Celestiq an overall Dr. Diecast engineering score of 9.8 out of 10. For me, this isn't just one of the best luxury castings Hot Wheels has released recently. I genuinely think it's one of the smartest engineering mainlines I've seen in a bit. So, now I want to hear from you. If someone handed you $450,000 tomorrow, would you commission your own Cadillac Celestiq, or are you still taking a Rolls-Royce? Let me know down in the comments. I have a feeling that this will be an interesting debate. And if you enjoy learning about engineering behind both the real cars and tiny diecast versions we collect, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and the notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, every casting has a story. I'll see you in the next one.